You just have one hair on.
Thank you so much. That would have driven me nuts.
Like on your face. There we go.
Okay, thank you.
I can just see it. I'm always
You had a
like,
little
what do I
hair.
do with my hair?
No, I have the same struggle. It's like a
It's-
long hair thing. It's like so. What do you do? Yeah, I think that looks pretty.
Okay.
Okay. Okay. I'm so excited that you're here. I'm just like excited to like, introduce you obviously as my co-host now for this. And when I was thinking about who I wanted to co-host this with and really bring into like partner, like you just kind of immediately came in into my head because you're someone who I think when we met we had like an immediate like connection because I feel like we have so many of the same values, and it's definitely hard to meet people who I don't know, you just have that like genuine connection with. Um, so a little bit of background: we met whenever I was doing makeup out in LA, and I was kind of trying to build up my portfolio, and I was looking for models, and I saw you on Instagram. I was just like, she is stunning, like she's so gorgeous. I have to do her makeup. And then I reached out, and then, yeah, we kind of just like became instant friends. And, you'd come over all the time to my place in Santa Monica, and we'd do makeup and just like have such a fun time. I'm just super like grateful that we met, and, yeah, and that we're doing this together.
Me
Yes.
too, Rosie.
Yeah.
I'm so honored that you asked me to come aboard. And like you said, it's hard to meet genuine people that you actually connect with, especially in LA. And I wouldn't trade our experiences for the world. Professionally and on a friendship level, it's just a joy to do something like this with someone like you.
Oh, well, thank you. Yeah, so a little bit about like you. I wanna like share more about you and your life because I just find you like just fascinating. You're so interesting.
Aw.
And just you're so inspirational too. Like you do different things, and you just you've always been like a real inspiration for me with like social media and everything. And you were born in LA, and you
Yes.
grew up in like OC.
Mm-hmm.
So what was that kind of like growing up? 'Cause it's so different for me. So.
Yeah, because you grew up. Where did you grow up again? Remind
In
me.
Missouri.
In Missouri.
Yeah,
Very
so
different.
extremely different. Yeah, and I always it's so funny because like all my friends who grew up in California, they're always like, yeah, we used to like specifically like in LA. They're like, yeah, we used to like skip high school, like skip at lunchtime and go to Universal, and I'm like, oh my god, we used to like skip high school and like go to the gas station or something. Like, we definitely were not doing that. So I get a little bit jealous, but no, yeah, I would love to hear more about that.
Oh, well, I didn't really skip school. So that sounds like fun. Well, growing up in Orange County, I mean, I'm just so grateful for my family and my parents in particular. They gave my brothers and I so much opportunity and just so much love. They're such a beautiful example of what love should be and how a family dynamic should be. We always had animals in the house, and we always had extracurriculars going on, and whether it was dance, like taekwondo, soccer, track, like I mean, there was always something going on.
Yeah.
We were very busy, but there was never a lack of love, and my parents never actually said no to me, which I think is very interesting. And for whatever reason, I just never had a rebellious like stage or phase in my life.
Yeah.
But I feel like I've been given a lot of just again that opportunity and the love, and that's helped shape me into who I am now. And it's fun trying different things and just involving yourself in different things in different communities. It's family to me, I guess, is the core of everything, and friendships, and love. If you had to ask me, like, what is the purpose of life? It's love. So that's my answer to everything, and I'm just grateful for where I'm at now. And I love California. I love Orange County. I love LA. It's the best place to be.
Yes, I agree.
So anyway, what was it like for you growing up?
Oh gosh. So first of all, your family sounds amazing. I haven't met your parents yet, but they sound so sweet, and I think to your point about having like a rebellious streak, I think I was a little bit more rebellious because my parents definitely had more of a like a tighter I'm not thinking of the right word, tighter grip on me, a little bit more controlling, a little bit more like, you know, traditional Indian parents, and they really wanted to make sure we went down the right path. So I understand why they were like that, but I definitely had a little bit more rebelliousness, I guess, in me. And, you know, that manifested in different ways. But ultimately, like, I'm glad that things worked out in the way that they did. But yeah, growing up, it was interesting. And I touched a little bit on this about with my friend Sylvia and in the last episode that we did. But growing up, we were the only pretty much like Indian family in the town that I was in. Now it's like getting more diverse and there's more people and it's changing a lot. But back then I was really the only person and everyone else was white. It was very white. And although I felt like I fit in like growing up, I don't know, there was always a part of me that kind of felt like I don't belong, or like there's a part of me that's like I can just feel that I'm different somehow, you know. And there was, of course, things that people would say, you know, as a kid that you would just internalize a lot. And so I think I internalized a lot of that growing up and pushed away my like heritage and identity for a while. But slowly, it's become a bigger part of my life, and I'm so happy that I've discovered that.
Aww.
And but yeah, growing up was in the Midwest it was hard, but I honestly had a great childhood overall, and I have some friends from back home who are lifelong friends, and so yeah, so yeah, overall it was great. I also like would love to know from you. So I think you mentioned that you kind of would come up to LA for work and stuff when you were young. Were you doing like acting and modeling or stuff like that when you were young? Like, or I think you mentioned a few times you were in like doing commercial stuff. So yeah, I would love to know more about that.
Well, first of all, I'm really happy that you're embracing who you are because you're beautiful. I think, I don't know, we all struggle with identity sometimes, or especially growing up as an adolescent, we all like question ourselves and our place in this world. And I'm happy that you're more comfortable in your skin and accepting of like your culture and your identity, and it's beautiful. So anyway, to answer your question, yes. So the entertainment industry always pursued me from a very young age, ever since I was a child, a baby. In fact, Johnson and Johnson actually wanted me to do a commercial for them, and I was the type of kid who would. I was painfully shy.
Yeah.
I would always claw on to my parents.
I remember us talking about this a little bit.
Yes, I would never want to be in front of a camera.
Yeah.
It took me a long time just to warm up to my grandparents, even just to family. So one day, my family and I were at a lunch somewhere, and these agents were scouting me. And I remember my mom thinking, why are these grown men staring at my daughter in this way? And they came over to the table and apologized and said, we just sorry like for the intrusion, but like we're actually casting for a role right now. Our lead, you know, we had a falling out, something happened, and we think your daughter is perfect. And my parents, you know, like typical, said, sorry, you know, she's not your gal, she's very painfully shy. And I actually said I would love to try. And my mom looked down at me and she said, you know, honey, this will require talking.
It's kind of a prerequisite.
Yeah, exactly. So I ended up going to that audition. There were so many kids there, and I ended up nailing it. I'm proud of my younger self for doing that.
That's amazing.
My mom was in tears. I remember standing up and slating and giving the script back to the casting agent, and they're like, "Are you sure you don't want to read this?" And I said, "No, it's okay." And I was just a little girl, and ever since then, I had a ton of jobs with acting mostly.
Okay.
I was on the Bernie Mac show, House, New Adventures of Old Christine. I did a lot of stuff, and it was tough. My mom and I would drive from Orange County to LA every single day when it was dark. We'd be working all day, would do homework on set, and come home when it was, dark after hours, and just get up and do it all over again.
Wow.
And my mom was so happy to do it. It ended up not taking a toll, but I think I took a break for a while, and then I eventually got into the modeling world,
Yeah.
and that hasn't stopped for me. So
Yeah.
that's always pursued me too, and I just have decided to run with it, and it's been a blessing. I used to not really enjoy it, but now I do.
Yeah, no, you're an incredible model. Like modeling is such a skill. I used to do just like commercial modeling in college and high school, and it takes a lot to be like a natural in front of the camera. And I feel like as a model, you have to be able to, you have to have kind of thick skin, like you deal with a lot of different personalities.
Yeah.
And you deal with a lot of people telling you what to do and treating you not very nicely. And so I think that's incredible. And yeah, I definitely like kudos to you for that. You're an incredible model.
Well, I think you could be a model. So. I've learned so much. I am naturally a stiffer person, not someone who wants to be in front of a camera. So it's really helped me come out of my shell in a healthy way.
Yeah.
And fortunately, I've had really good experiences in the modeling industry. Will there be an occasional personality you don't like, or someone who's a little mean? Yes, it happens. But no matter what, I believe in kindness and in love, and just being professional and showing up on time. And I'm open to learning new things. And honestly, this whole industry has helped me relax in a good way.
That's amazing.
And I know how to say no to things, and say yes to the things I do want. So I don't have issues there, but it's all been very good for me.
That's great.
I mean, you worked in makeup, and you did my makeup for a while, and that was so incredible working with you. I wanted to ask you actually about like your job now and what you're doing, like with your life and your travels. You're like incredible, doing all sorts of things.
Oh my goodness. Yeah, it's been a whirlwind of a year, I would say. So obviously, like I was living in LA for 4 years, and then I was kind of doing makeup on the side and trying to really build up a clientele here. But it is really kind of tough whenever you have like a 9 to 5 that you have to focus so much on that. Kind of like by the end of it, I'm kind of just like drained, and I'm just like, it's really hard to put a lot of energy into building something else. And I also think I let myself get discouraged a lot because there's so much competition for that in LA, and I think I let myself kind of get intimidated and be like, I just need to stay in my lane, and I just need to like do tech stuff and not really focus on my creative endeavors. And now I'm trying to slowly unlearn that behavior, and now I'm dabbling in different things in different areas, and just kind of like following what I'm passionate about. I think that's the number one important thing, is like you have to find what you're passionate about in life, and just like find a way to commit as much time as you can, and bring that into your life in as many ways as possible. So that's really what I'm focusing on. I think this past, I would say, 6 months or so is kind of like on content creation, through doing beauty content. Like we talked about, and I've asked you advice on, because like I said, you're the expert on social media, and I know that that was like one thing that I knew that I wanted to focus on. And then of course with podcasting too, I love the idea of just having like a really organic conversation with friends, and I feel so grateful to have so many incredible people in my life that I want to showcase and I want to introduce to the world. And so I felt super passionate about this idea as well. But I feel like I'm rambling a lot. But
no, not at all. I felt like I was too.
As well as like with work and traveling and stuff, I'm grateful for the fact that I can I don't have to be based in one specific location. I can kind of move around and just take my laptop with me, and as long as I get my work done, I'm okay. So it's been amazing traveling and seeing so many different places over the past
Oh,
year.
yes. Oh, just went to France recently with my fiance, and it was magical. I mean, you traveled so much.
Yeah.
What were some of the places you traveled to again? I remember
Yeah.
Turkey was one of them, right?
Yes.
Australia.
Yes. Yes.
Um,
Australia was probably my favorite. I think Australia was like I always dreamed of going to Australia, and it just completely was everything I was expecting and more.
oh,
Yeah, and same with Bali as well. It's just like a incredible healing place, amazing people. That I mean, truly, the Balinese like people are just so kind, and I think you would really love that. I did like kind of like a Europe trip over the summer. So I was in Portugal, France,
wow.
Austria, and yeah, Turkey. I know I'm forgetting other places. I was in like in France. I was in Paris, of course, which you know, and then I was in like the south of France as
Okay.
well.
Amazing.
Yes.
So in province
I would
or
say Biarritz.
Biarritz.
Yeah,
Okay.
yeah. It was. It's kind of like southwest, I think.
Okay.
Yeah, but a 4 hour
Incredible.
train.
If you
Yeah.
had to pick 3 places that were your favorite,
Okay.
did you go to Greece too?
No, but I
No.
want to. That's
Okay.
on the list.
Sorry, got
Yes.
distracted.
No, that's okay. No, Greece and Italy are like on my next like. I think those are like the next place in Europe I want to hit for sure.
I mean, you have to.
Have you been?
No, I haven't.
Yeah.
My fiance and I are trying to figure out our honeymoon right now, like where we want to book, and we desperately want to go back to Europe. Like
Oh my gosh.
once you're bitten by that travel bug, like you
Oh
can't go
yeah.
back. I mean,
No.
you've been to so many incredible places.
Yeah.
If you had to pick 3 of your top like places you just went to, like what are they and why?
Okay, this is a hard question. I would say though, okay, if I had to whittle it down, I would say
Oh,
so the third would probably be um probably like Portugal. It was really I didn't really know what to expect because like I'd never been to Spain or Portugal, and it was just really lovely. I mean, the weather's amazing, the food's incredible, the people are really sweet. Yeah, and I definitely want to go back and see more of it. The second would be Bali, which I already talked about, but yeah, amazing. I think everyone needs to go there in their lifetime. It's just a healing, amazing place, and you can really have like whatever experience you want to there. Like you can have the kind of like healing and eat, pray, love type of experience, and really, really kind of go on that healing journey, and then you also have like the partying side of it, which is, I did a little bit of both. So I oscillated between the two.
balance.
Yes, balance. Yeah. And then my number one place would actually be Australia is so big that I can't just group it into one. But I would say Melbourne, Australia would be the place that really truly caught me by surprise the most. I also went on like a really amazing date in Melbourne, so maybe I'm a little bit a little bit biased because of that. But no, it is such an incredible city. It's got so much character, and I know we're both Harry Potter fans.
Big.
Okay, so they like have these like alleyways there that kind of like it gives like a Harry Potter kind of vibe.
Really?
And like I actually saw Harry Potter there. That was the date that I went on, and like the play. Have you seen it? The Harry Potter and the Cursed Child.
I read the book.
Oh my gosh, you have to see it. It was so good.
Wow.
Like it was so and at that time I think Melbourne was the only place in the world apart from maybe London that was actually having that play there.
Really?
So I saw that there, and I was only there in Melbourne for like 2 days, I think, but I had the best time. The food is amazing. There's so much diversity and so much culture. The public transportation is great. You can get around everywhere. It's just the most unique place I've ever been.
Wow.
So yeah, those would be my top three, I guess. But again,
amazing.
That was really hard to whittle it down because I'm lucky I've been in a lot of incredible places.
I mean, each of those two are so diversely different.
Yes.
Different parts of the world,
Yeah.
different climates. different lifestyles.
Yes, absolutely.
So I can't wait to visit both and talk to you more
Yeah.
about
Oh
it.
my gosh. What would you say? Do you have like top three or I guess like your top favorite places that you visited?
Ooh, well, definitely France.
Yes.
I loved
Yes.
Paris. I loved Provence. I loved the town of Bourges. I mean, France has always been my dream since I was a little girl. So that's my number one.
Yes.
My family and I used to go to Hawaii, to Maui every year for vacation. So that's a pretty special spot for me. I love the Grand Wailea Hotel there, the road to Hana, Lahaina. Lahaina recently was devastated by those fires. It was
Yeah.
awful. So I hope the rebuilding is going well. But my hope and dream is to go back to Europe, go to Italy, go to basically everywhere
Oh,
in
yes.
Europe, Austria,
Yes.
all
Europe
the
is
places you've
amazing.
been.
Oh, it's so great.
It's
Yeah.
so hard trying to figure out a honeymoon
I
destination.
can imagine. Oh my gosh. Yeah, I just feel like wedding stuff in general is just probably like taking over your life right now in a good way.
It's overwhelming in a good way.
Yeah.
It's stressful in the sense that there's so much to juggle and so much to check off in such a short amount of time. But at the same time, like I want to enjoy it. I am enjoying it. My mom is such a big help
Yeah.
in organizing everything. She's an interior designer and just has such a vision for things. I feel like her and I share the same like vision for a lot of stuff. So it makes it easier, I think, to work with my mom, who I love and cherish, and who's also very creative and has the same style as I do, basically.
That's
So
amazing.
it's super fun.
Yeah.
But it's coming up, so trying not to stress too much.
I'm so excited. It's gonna look amazing, I'm sure. And no, I'm so excited for you. And I want to see your dress. I don't know if you're sharing your dress, but I want to see it.
Oh,
If you are sharing it, or if you're not, then that's okay too, and I'll see you on the day.
so this might sound very unconventional, but I'm not sharing my dress with anybody, not even like my family.
Oh my gosh.
My mom is like the only one who
Yeah.
knows, and then my soon-to-be mother-in-law.
Makes sense.
They were there for the trying on and everything. I wanted friends to come, but it was just tough with our like time crunch right now. So I just went with them, and that was lovely. But I just want everyone to feel just as emotional and surprised and just, I don't know, emotional as I do, like walking out on that day.
Oh my gosh.
Because when you have like the hair and makeup and everything, and you're walking down the aisle to the music, I just feel like it's that much more, not powerful, but just romantic and beautiful. So that's why I decided not to share.
I love that. No, I
and I
actually
feel so
love that.
guilty.
No, don't feel guilty at all. No, I think that's actually amazing, and I think that's such a good idea.
So it'll be on the USD campus at, at the Immaculata Church.
Okay.
It's gorgeous. It gives Europe.
Yeah.
It's very grand and just so beautiful as it is.
Amazing.
And then the reception will be at a hotel nearby.
Okay.
Very beautiful French Mediterranean hotel. So I'm looking forward to it, and family will be able to come. That's close by, and hopefully we'll go off to Europe after that.
Yes, I love that plan. I know we talked briefly about France and about Europe and stuff, but we've spoken about this amongst ourselves, but about like French culture and like how much we both like it. And you know, I think France like also like very, it has my heart for sure. Like I think I could absolutely see myself living there one day. I truly feel at home when I'm in France. I just feel like I relate so much to the French culture, just like their viewpoint on life.
Yes.
Do you feel like that as well? Like you feel kind of is that why always you were attracted to like France growing up and stuff like that?
Those are great questions. I definitely agree with you on that. I mean, just going there for the first time and meeting all the people, they were so kind and so welcoming and willing to speak English. And my fiance and I tried learning just basic French before we went.
Yeah, that goes a huge way with French. Yeah.
It's fun to learn, but they were just so accommodating, and I think there's this huge stigma that like the French people aren't very nice and accommodating and they're rude, and I didn't find that whatsoever.
Me either.
I mean, there was only one person, a restaurant owner, that was a little rude, but other than that, everyone was beyond kind, and their viewpoint on life is very not simple, but they value the important things.
Yeah.
I think.
And to be honest, I feel like most of the people, I hope this doesn't sound terrible, but I feel like most of the people who complain about the French people being rude are kind of like the typical Americans who kind of go to France, don't try to speak French at all, don't are not respectful of the local culture, are very loud, are very you know, like I don't feel like I hope this doesn't sound pretentious, but I feel like you and I aren't like the average like American that goes to France. We're like a little bit more like respectable, I think. So maybe that's why we had like a better experience. But I definitely like try to speak French everywhere, and I love the French people. I love Paris. I love
the architecture, the food. I mean, they have thousands of years of history. It's incredible.
Yeah, it's
whereas
amazing.
The U.S. only has
a couple hundred. Yeah, no, it's amazing. You can really feel like the history in the city, and the culture is just so overpowering.
I loved eating meals there, especially late at night. I mean, not that I don't really do that here. I feel like I'm a grandma and I go to bed so early, but there.
It's such a Parisian thing to be out late and have a glass of wine. I mean, it's so funny when my friends in Paris, whenever we went out quite often, and we would always, we had this running joke where we would all be like, oh, okay, let's go to this cafe and just have a glass of wine, just one glass, you know? We'd be like 3 glasses later, and then we'd be like, oh, let's go to this other cafe, just one glass of wine. And then, of course, a couple drinks later, be like, and meanwhile, we'd keep going, and it'd be like 4 a.m., and we'd be going home. And it was just like, just having a nice time with friends, having good conversation, and you know, that social aspect of life is so valued in France, and I wish we valued it more here in the States, because it's I truly think that that way of life is like therapeutic in a sense, you know, just like spending time with those people. So
agreed. Wholeheartedly. I definitely think the French savor the moment, they savor their food, take their time. Our culture is very fast paced, which is great too. It's just very different.
It's different. Exactly. It's different. It's good in its own ways, but it's different than European culture as a whole, for sure. With Paris too, I think it's a natural kind of like affinity for us both loving like fashion and all of that too. So I feel like you have like, I feel like in a way you kind of have like a French style as well. Yeah, like I feel like you're very like effortless in many ways, and your style is just like very, I don't know, like, because I feel like the French style is, it's so like, everyone always says this, but you know, like the French girl style is just like a really chic outfit, and you know, like classic accessories and stuff. And I feel like both you and I really like that. And so I don't know.
Your style is beautiful and effortless too.
Oh, right back at you. I'm sure you're just so swamped with wedding stuff. So.
Yes, honestly, just so swamped with all things, anything wedding, and just planning. I mean, flowers, the whole thing, wedding invitations, all of it. So.
I can't imagine. Yeah. What's been like your favorite part of the process so far?
Honestly, just planning, having my mom help me, and just knowing I'll get to marry my best friend at the end of the day. It's such a blessing, and that's what this is all for. It's all, you know, for our love story, and that's what's so beautiful. And it's just fun, like curating a vision, like for that special day. Not only for that special day, but beyond that day. But yes, definitely trying to work on honeymoon planning. And one of my siblings just moved to Washington, so I want to visit him soon. I also have a cousin who just moved there too. So
Washington State.
So they're in, one of them's in Bellevue. Yeah. Which is, I think it's a really nice city.
Okay.
My fiance is a lot more well versed with like Washington in general and Oregon and
Yeah.
everything.
I've never been to like the Pacific Northwest. Like,
Okay.
but I really want to. It looks gorgeous.
Oh, I've only been there just a handful of times, and it's God's country. It's incredible. I mean, you really get the change of seasons.
Yeah.
The rain.
Yeah.
The changing of leaves.
Oh.
I feel like our leaves here, like in California, don't necessarily go through that full change.
Yeah.
So it's a nice change
The
of
palm
pace.
trees are just kind of palm trees all year
Yeah,
round.
exactly. Don't get me wrong. I love all of our plants and everything here. I mean, California weather, we are lucky. We're blessed. I mean, right now I feel like it's cold, but it's not like Chicago cold.
Yes. Yes. Comparatively speaking, it's pretty
or
good.
Seattle cold.
Yeah.
So we're really blessed to have what we have here.
Yeah.
I mean, Australia weather too, I'm sure was amazing. Very similar climate to ours, right?
Beautiful. Yeah, Melbourne was a little bit chilly, but I think it was. I think when I was there, they were going into their like springtime. They were finishing up winter, I want to say. But Sydney was beautiful, beautiful, beautiful. Beautiful. I think Sydney reminded me so much of LA.
Really?
Yeah. Yeah, Sydney reminded me so much of LA, and there was so much more that I want to see of it. Like I hung out mostly around like the Bondi Beach area, but like which is amazing.
Is that your phone background?
Yes, that's my phone background. I'm manifesting another Australia trip. But yeah, I really want to go to like all the other beaches, like Coogee Beach and like Manly, and like just see all the other parts of Sydney. So hopefully. Maybe next year.
Little bucket list.
Yes, bucket list item for sure.
Maybe we'll have a girls trip there one day.
Oh my gosh, I would love. Yes, I think you would love it.
I think I know I would love it already just from seeing pictures and your beautiful experiences there, and
it's incredible. You know, it's a lot like. Have you been to the UK?
I actually have been to England, and then I've been to Scotland.
Okay.
So I forgot to mention that earlier. Those are two of my other favorite places I've been. Scotland. I've been to Edinburgh in particular with my fiance. Yeah. And that was magical. Again, God's country.
I see photos of it and I'm like, this is just stunning. Like the castles and all that.
Oh my gosh. And King Arthur's Seat, like the hike up that beautiful hill. There's Old Town Edinburgh and then New Town Edinburgh. And we stayed in Old Town Edinburgh with the cobblestone streets and the castle and
looks magical.
Holyrood Palace, I think it's called. I mean, forgive me if I'm saying that wrong. Anyone listening?
I don't know how to say it either.
But overall, yeah, the UK is just amazing. I loved Chelsea in particular in England. Jeff and I are big fans of the Chelsea soccer team.
Oh, cool. Oh, did you guys watch a game at like a pub or anything?
Oh, we actually went to a game, which was so much fun.
Awesome.
Jeff's brother Glenn actually bought us tickets for a game, and we fell in love with the team, and we've been fans ever since.
I love that.
So it was so much fun, like going to the game and just seeing the culture there, and how like the fans get riled up and so excited. It's like it's wild, but it's fun.
The football culture is like just a beast of its own, really. It's like American football culture, I guess. Like, and they're both like really, really intense fans. So what other thing I was gonna say was Australia kind of reminds me of. I would say to me, it feels like a hybrid of like America and the UK. Because the way like aesthetically it looks a little bit like the UK, but then it's really big like America. Like so it's got like the roads are massive, everything is just really big there. And so it kind of reminded me of like a little bit of a mix between the two, and it was just so unique and really amazing. I could go on and on about it.
I'm like, please.
Yeah.
Give it to me.
Yes. No, it's incredible. I think we pretty much covered most of what I think we wanted to talk to you about today. Thank you so much for driving up.
Oh, it's not an issue. I'm so used to driving like all the
Yeah,
time,
that's
actually.
true. LA, yeah, California, Southern California.
You guys driving right now or in the future, listen to our podcast.
Yes, yes.
Thank you for having me,
Oh my
Rosie.
God, of
You
course.
are a
Thank
joy.
you. I love you.
I love you
Yay.
too.